For 20 years, we have been watching John Cena never give up, defying all odds even when they were stacked against him, and always coming out at the end with a smile on his face. And on Saturday, he showed us all that even though he hasn't won a match in 7 years, the John Cena we all know was still in there, outlasting 5 other men to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. Only this time, the smile at the end was all for show. Has the man who defined his entire career by never giving up finally gave up? I've been asking myself that question for the last 48 hours. You guys know the 5 stages of grief? I feel like I've literally gone through a speed run of the 5 stages over the last 2 days. Never thought I'd see the day. I really never thought I'd see the day. So let's take this time, you and I, sit down, let's trauma bond together, and let's talk through why John Cena would do this. First off, let's take a moment to just appreciate this picture. Would you just look at it? We have 3 all-time greats from their respective generations, not only in the same picture at the same time in the ring, not only involved in a storyline together, but a storyline that's going to culminate in the main event of WrestleMania. This is what the WWE is all about, man. Like, you cannot get this kind of a moment on this scale anywhere else. But first, in order to understand why Cena would do this, let's take a look back at the last time he won a world title. The 2017 Royal Rumble. John Cena defeats AJ Styles to tie the record at 16, but he won it only to lose it 14 days later at none other than where? The Elimination Chamber. Interesting. A bit of a story of retribution maybe building here. Since 2018, the year after that, John Cena has only won 6 singles matches, and all of those were in the first 3 months of 2018. 7 years. Think about where you were 7 years ago. Maybe you weren't even born. March 2018. What was I doing? That's actually probably a story I will not ever tell on the internet. 7 years of losing credibility, not only to the fans, but to the locker room as a legitimate title contender. But John had a smile on his face throughout all of this, always showing respect to the younger guys that would best him in the ring. But little did we know the demons that this man was fighting in his head. You had to do it to me, huh? I still can't believe that this actually happened. This is like the 3rd time in this video I've stopped and just had to think about if this actually happened on Saturday or not. It's crazy. But that brings me to my first and second points to help answer the question of why, John, why? Every athlete fights the battle against Father Time, and every athlete loses that battle. Father Time is undefeated. There's a reason they say that. 7 years that John Cena has been fighting this battle against Father Time, losing to guys that in his prime would have been a 3-minute squash match on Monday Night Raw. And Cena knows this. He's been crystal clear in press conferences and on TV. He is no longer wrestling after this year. And after losing the Rumble, the first big event of his retirement tour, maybe John Cena realizes Father Time is winning quicker than he originally thought. He's doing this whole retirement tour to go out on his own terms, but maybe he's realizing he doesn't have as much control over this as he thought he did. So something shifted, and this takes me to my second point. How did John Cena go from this
didn't want to do is walk in and demand it, because that's not fair,
to this? Well, this happened. After 7 years of losing, John may have written himself off a bit. He was thinking, for this retirement tour, I'll get cheers from the fans in every city, elevate the young guys, wear a different colored shirt every week, and ride off into the sunset. But then the Rumble happened. Cena was a gust of wind away from main eventing WrestleMania, and it reignited the passion and ambition he has to be great, the mentality that defined him his entire career. Never give up, right, John? Right, John? Right? Hustle, loyalty, respect. The champ is here. Never give up. So now we've got a John Cena who, after 7 straight years of losing, got a little bit of a taste of a WrestleMania main event that he might have thought was out of reach a year ago. The retirement tour riding off into the sunset has taken on a more serious turn. He realizes he's still got gas in the tank. He can keep up with these guys, but he's lost a step in the ring, and with every day that passes, he's losing another step, and Father Time is taking over more and more. Instead, he's now forced to look outside of himself for the first time in his career. He hasn't given up the battle. He's just looking for some help, maybe from an old adversary. The final boss! And that leads me to my final question. Why The Rock? The man that John Cena hated in 2012, battled in a once-in-a-lifetime WrestleMania main event match, Cena versus The Rock. And then again, he battled him in the WrestleMania main event the following year. Once in a lifetime, if your lifetime is less than a year. Maybe you're an insect. What was that joke? I just made an insect lifetime joke. That was not in the script, I promise you that. Cena's entire issue with The Rock back then was that he turned his back on the fans and he left the industry for Hollywood. But that sounds a little bit familiar, right? Cena didn't turn his back as much on the WWE, but he certainly turned his front to Hollywood, if you know what I mean. But John's gone through a similar thing that The Rock has, and he no longer resents The Rock. Maybe at this point, he's built some empathy for him, and maybe he even admires The Rock a little bit. And now, the resentment has shifted towards the fans. You people cheered The Rock when he came back. Meanwhile, I stayed behind all of these years, and you booed me while I stayed loyal to the industry and the company. Cena realizes The Rock was never my enemy, and now he's actually my greatest ally. I'm just doing what's best for business. And what's best for business is John Cena holding his 17th world title.